Hey guys, welcome back. On today's episode, we're going to take a look at polling in Livewire 3. It's a way to keep our component data up to date when something has changed without the user manually having to go ahead and reload the page. So let me show you guys an example. Let's say I have this users list, a users table, and right now I have 51 results. And in the background, maybe another user, another admin, somewhere else, goes ahead and creates 10 new users. So here I'm going to use the database seeder. Okay, so I have enabled it, and I'm going to go ahead and create like 15 users, and I'm going to say PHP artisan db seed. So in the background, I'm going to go ahead and create 15 new users. Obviously, our component doesn't have any reason to update. Nothing is happening, right? So we are still seeing 51 results. The only way this will update is if the user goes ahead and manually updates it, right? Reloads the page. Now we get 66. So using polling in Livewire, we can update this list on an interval, and every, let's say, 5 seconds, something like that, update it. So let's go ahead and see that in practice. So to enable polling in your Livewire component, all you have to do is go on your blade file, and you can do it maybe on your root div element and say wire poll. And by default, wire poll will go ahead and update your component every 2.5 seconds. So I will re-render it every 2.5 seconds. And to test it out, I have my component here. We have 66 results. I'm going to go ahead and run our db seed again. I'll come back. Boom, it became 81. So it's running every 2.5 seconds. And if I do it multiple times, it became 111. So I didn't have to do anything. Now, you do have some more extra options with this. For example, you can define how long you want the interval to be between each update. So you can pass it in seconds. So you can maybe say like 10 seconds, something like that. Maybe let's go with 5 seconds, and we can test this out. So I'm going to go ahead and db seed, and as you can see, it is taking a bit longer than it did before. By default, it is, I believe, 2.5 seconds. You can also pass in milliseconds if you want. I think second is probably more useful, and then if you want it to be like millisecond, you can say ms, something like that. Okay, so millisecond is also supported, but I think most cases seconds is going to be what you're going to do. So I'm going to say, for example, I want this to update every 10 seconds. Now, by default, if you, for example, have other pages, Livewire won't be updating your request, your component in the background. So if you want to make sure that it is updated in the background as well. So for example, I'm going to open up GitHub, something like that. My component isn't updated in the background, right? So in order to make it update all the time, even when you're in the background, you can basically give it an extra keep alive, and this will make it so that it's going to be updated even when you're on a different page, right? So we can test this out as well. I'm going to make, instead of 10 seconds, I'm going to make it like 2 seconds again. I'll update it here. I'm going to go to our controller. So we have 126, and I'm going to say db seed a few times, and I'll go back, and it became 171. So it was already updated before I even opened the page. So that is one thing you can do as well as an extra option. Use keep alive. Last thing you can do, guys, this is somewhat useful, is if you have a very big page, maybe you have a landing page with multiple components and users scroll a lot, you can also do visible, poll.visible, and this will make it so Livewire will only poll or re-render the page when this component is visible. So if you have a very long page, maybe again, as I said, a landing page, and your users list is at bottom of the list, it won't be updating it when your component isn't on users view page. Okay, when it's not visible, Livewire won't actually poll. So that's the one more thing you can do as well, and that's kind of the basics of it. It's very useful for lists, and maybe you have a shopping cart and it's showing the number of items in your cart. You can use it in those cases as well, so it will continuously update the number of items in your shopping cart. In a documentation, they talk about like a number of subscribers, something like that. Or maybe if you have a social media app and you want to update the number of followers or likes on a tweet, you can have a separate like stats component and then have that update every, let's say, 20 seconds, something like that. So it's up to date. And that is it, guys. That's the basics of polling in Livewire. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section below. And I see you guys on the next episode. Have a great day. Bye.